I hired an AI to make this episode. I told it what the Tech Back Control podcast is about. I trained it on some excerpts from previous episode transcripts. I asked it to write its own script, and I used a Gen AI model trained on previous episodes to replicate my voice and read it out. Remember, I didn't write this. I didn't record this. Even this preamble written by the real me isn't actually me. It's all my AI employee. That's all. Enjoy.
The attention economy pits you against me. Money makes no sense these days, and the robots are taking jobs. The planet is in peril, but we can set us free. Put our brains together if we lead with our hearts. Gotta take back control from the greedy and the corporate. Gotta take back control to the hands of the people. Collaborate and listen. We learn and we grow. Build the future that we want. Gotta take back control.
Welcome back to Tech Back Control. We're doing something a bit different today and letting AI take the reins. At the end of the episode, it'll be the real me, so hang around until the end. Now let's delve deeper into the story of AI's public perception. Let's start from the beginning. Picture the scene. It's the mid-20th century and AI is still a fledgling concept. At this point, AI was less of a technology and more of an idea wrapped up in an aura of mystery. Images of futuristic machines with human-like intelligence were common in the popular sci-fi of the day, from Isaac Asimov's I, Robot to the iconic film 2001, A Space Odyssey. These stories stirred our collective imagination, offering tantalizing yet terrifying glimpses into a future where machines could think and act like us. But while some of us were dreaming of friendly robot companions, others were having nightmares of a Skynet-esque future. And who could blame them? The idea that machines could possess human-level intelligence was a concept both thrilling and deeply unsettling. However, reality soon caught up with these lofty imaginings. We began to realize that making machines think like humans was far more challenging than anyone had anticipated. The grand promises of AI were met with harsh technical limitations and lack of funding, leading to a period often dubbed as the AI winter. During this time, AI's public perception took a hit. People went from fearing AI as an all-powerful entity to criticizing it as an overhyped technology that failed to deliver on its promises. Skepticism abounded, with many dismissing AI as more science fiction than science fact. The once shiny prospect of AI had lost its luster. It was like watching a much-hyped rookie player failing to meet their potential. Disappointing to say the least. But as we all know, life has a way of coming full circle. As we moved into the 21st century, we began to see AI in a new light, thanks to the rise of personal AI like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. These AI systems, while far from the sci-fi dreams of yesteryears, brought a piece of the AI dream into our living rooms. AI was no longer an abstract concept discussed in tech labs or depicted in sci-fi movies. It was now a part of our everyday lives, helping us set reminders, play music, or find the nearest coffee shop. This shift in how we interact with AI led to a shift in how we perceive it. The AI of the present wasn't as spectacular as its imagined versions, but it was more real, more tangible. And with that, AI began to feel less like a threat and more like a tool, a useful companion in our digital lives. However, this isn't to say that the road has been smooth from here on out. The rise of advanced technologies like deep learning and generative AI have reignited the old sparks of excitement as well as caution. Let's take the example of OpenAI's GPT-3, a language model that's so advanced it can write essays, draft emails, and even generate code. For some, this represents an exciting leap forward in AI capability, a hint of the revolutionary AI we once dreamt of. For others, it stokes the fires of concern. It's hard not to feel a sense of déjà vu. After all, haven't we been here before, caught between the thrill of innovation and the fear of the unknown? As we step into the future, we're beginning to see the outlines of a new narrative for AI. In this narrative, AI isn't seen as a threat or a competitor, but as a partner. We're now talking about AI not as a tool to replace us, but as a tool to augment us, to help us become better versions of ourselves. Consider AI in education, where personalized learning systems could tailor education to each student's unique needs, or in healthcare, where AI could provide doctors with more accurate diagnoses, leading to better patient outcomes. We're now envisioning a future where AI doesn't take jobs, but changes them, making work more meaningful and productive. But this isn't a foregone conclusion. It's a possibility, one that requires us to rethink our relationship with AI. Rather than seeing AI as an adversary, we need to see it as a partner, a collaborator in building a better future. And there you have it, folks. We've taken a tour from the early days of AI, ridden through the skepticism of the AI winter, and arrived at the AI of today, a tool that is as much a part of our daily lives as our smartphones or laptops. And as we look to the future, we see a new vision of AI as a partner, a collaborator in our quest to build a better world. So, what's the takeaway here? It's this. AI, like any technology, is a mirror. It reflects our hopes, our fears, and our ambitions. And as we continue to develop AI, let's ensure it reflects the best of us, our creativity, our empathy, and our desire to build a better future. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and as always, stay curious.
Wow. That was freaky. You're back with me again, Human Jonathan. But I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a truly surreal experience hearing an AI clone of yourself talk about the evolution of AI's public perception, a script that it wrote itself, but taking its style from my previous podcasts. Is this how artists and authors and scriptwriters feel? But obviously theirs is way worse. It is a strange one. Anyway, let's park this uncanny valley feelings for a second and critique the episode more objectively. If I was evaluating this episode script, I would say that it's pretty good. The writing style is far superior to my own, but the topic and subject matter is very much on point. The anecdotes are quite generic and I guess offer a surface level analysis. It really plays it safe. It certainly doesn't take any risks or attempt to make profound and soul-searching statements about possible futures, but that's what I usually aim to do. However, in its defense, I really didn't give it much to work with. I asked it to come up with some interesting topics which aligned to my usual content. Then I picked the one that sounded the most interesting and opinionated. If you want to see the full breakdown of how I primed GPT-4 and prompted it to create this script, let me know and I'll share it in the Discord. The final output is truly beautifully written, but plays it super safe and somewhat derivative in terms of the typical conversations that have been happening around AI for the last few years. I mean, it didn't try and touch upon AI in advertising or stock market trading, gaming or politics, or even smartphone computational photography. It didn't mention the problems with bias or that hilarious Microsoft gaffe when Tay went off on a racist tirade on Twitter in March 2016. And it didn't really look at future concerns or risks, but just as a quote-unquote partner or tool to augment us. But hey, I'm nitpicking. As a first effort with minimal tuning, it's surprisingly good. And now we get to the voice cloning. The voice cloning was also a massive surprise. At first, I tried the free trial version of Play.ht, which is also a market leader in voice cloning, but it kept making me sound Scottish for some reason and failed with some basic and consistent errors, which was frustrating me. So I switched to a paid version of 11 Labs, and I think 11 Labs nailed it. I used about 5 or 6 minutes of material from previous episodes that was good quality, and I could use it to clone my voice. For some reason, it did give me a slightly deeper voice than usual, and it makes me sound far more well-spoken, almost like a documentary narrator. It also fixed my hesitations, slightly slurred speech, and it corrected some speech impediments, which I know I have. It's super weird. I think it just made a better, more normalized version of me, or just a really boring version of me with no soul. I'll be honest, it's hauntingly surreal listening to a clone of yourself talk about topics that you would normally talk about. Then again, I can't imagine letting ChatGPT and a voice clone regurgitate things each week like a tech back control podcast factory. I think that would quickly dilute the value of what I'm trying to create. But I do know some people who are doing that on LinkedIn and Twitter, just posting AI-generated summaries of news articles or press releases each day and passing it off as their own. And meanwhile, they watch the likes roll in. So it's certainly plausible. But I like to think in a world where reductive, sanitized, articulate, generative content is everywhere, the opinionated and quirky, risky, curated and imperfectly crafted content feels like it should still be the most valuable and long-lasting. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, all this gives me a lot of optimism for the future. I'm still under the impression that humans and AI can create something incredible together. So keep paying attention, keep testing and experimenting with these AI tools, and see for yourself what you think you can create. If you're interested in learning more about how I made this episode, let me know either on Twitter or in Discord, and I'll share the steps on how I approached this. It's pretty simple to do, and many people have done it before, but you only really feel that weird sensation when you hear your own voice talking exactly like you talk about things you talk about. Then it's a strange feeling. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on whatever podcast app you're using. I know you probably won't, but honestly, it helps make this whole series easier to discover for others. This episode was written, recorded and edited by me, Jonathan Tipper, but obviously with a lot of help from ChatGPT using GPT-4, and the voice cloning used 11 Labs. The theme song is by Jonathan Mann, and all backing soundtracks are from Epidemic Sounds. As usual, the artwork for this episode was created using Midjourney, and if you're watching this on YouTube, each of the images is created using the chapter headings ChatGPT gave itself as prompts for Midjourney. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.